Alright guys, so how's it all going? It took me a while, but I did finally go ahead and want to start doing these end of the year videos and sort of get my thoughts on this year in gaming and esports and my life and everything that's going on and really dive into the recap from 2014. It's taken a while, got a lot going on and a lot of things I needed to finish up with 2014 before I was able to kind of move on with it. But yeah, so this year I did go ahead and do a count of the games that I did play this year. Out of all of the games that were released in 2014, so we're talking officially released, not betas, not alphas, not games that came out years ago that I'm still playing, so like Dota or League of Legends or StarCraft 2 or anything like that. No, like games that were officially launched in 2014, I did go ahead and make a list. So we are at 90 games. I played 90 different games this year, which was a lot higher than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a lot lower than that. And also games completed was 67. So pretty good percentage, over about 66%. So I'm pretty happy about that. So we're talking also, or actually a little closer to 70% actually. Yeah, that's actually quite a bit. I haven't done the official percentages, but yeah, that's quite a bit. And by completed, I mean completed the story mode or what I considered completed. I'm also including games like like Madden or Hearthstone or Smite, things like that you really can't beat. Like those are games you can't beat. Like Threes for iOS. Like you can't beat that game. So I consider that completed because I played the crap out of it. So yeah, I played 90 games and I completed 67 of them. So I'm pretty excited about that. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the list here. First off, before we get anything started, I'm gonna go ahead and get into honorable mentions. These are games that barely missed the list, the top 10 list. The top 10 list is quite a prestigious list here. Because again, I did play 90 games here, guys. So we're missing 80 of them off of the list, and these are the ones that just missed the mark. In no particular order either. I just kind of listed them off the top of my head. I was looking at the list that I made of the games I played this year. So yeah, Weapons Shop de Amase is a downloadable title for the 3DS. And it is pretty much you play a blacksmith and you make weapons for so everyone's played an RPG where you go to the blacksmith and you buy a weapon and you go on your mighty quest. So like the Weapons Shop de Amase takes the idea of like what if you were that blacksmith and what if the entire game was you being that blacksmith. So you're forging weapons, you're loaning the weapons out to the heroes. And the way you forge weapons is based on a sort of rhythm-based system. Love that game so much. So it's a little bit of a rhythm game. It's also a little bit of a strategy game because you get to see the adventurer and sort of learn about them a little bit, and they do have each like very distinctive personalities. And then you also have they also give you like what their quest is in particular. So if you don't think they're going to complete it, you can deny them the request to go ahead and rent out a weapon. And also it tells you how long the quest takes. So you don't want to rent out like a really expensive weapon to them because you know you're not going to get it back if they fail it, or you're not going to get it back for a while if the quest is going to take a long time. And also if it's going to take a long time, you want to go ahead and make another one of those so you can have one ready in stock in case someone else comes by to pick up a weapon. So it's just a really cool game. A really unique idea. It's really cheap. I think it's like $7 on the eShop. Go ahead and spend that $7. You won't be disappointed. The next game on the list here is Dark Souls 2. I love Dark Souls. I thought it was great. Just not really my cup of tea. Like sometimes, like I love Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2. Like those games are great for what they are. Just sometimes I don't want to be extremely frustrated. Like it took me a long time to beat it, just because I would get extremely frustrated, or that's not for me. Like personally speaking, I respect the game for what it is. I respect the game how difficult it is. Just not kind of my thing. Child of Light was next on the list. I loved Child of Light. I thought that was actually the hardest thing for me to take off of my top 10 list. But yeah, I beat it twice. I love the art style. I love the music. I love the gameplay of it. The side-scrolling elements. I loved. It's a ton of fun. The only reason I didn't put it higher or didn't make it on the list is just because it didn't really add anything unique or different to the formula. It was just a really good side-scrolling RPG, which I played a couple of those by now, and yeah, I just enjoyed it. I thought it was a great masterpiece of work of art. It's just yeah, not my top 10, but it's really close. Really, it's right there. Mario Golf World Tour is next. I love that game. I put so much time into Mario Golf. It was a great game on the 3DS to go ahead and sort of take around with me. I loved the online elements of it, where you can kind of play online tournaments even after you were done with the story, quote unquote story courses and things like that. Beat all the courses and just really love that game. Put a lot of time into it. Same thing kind of goes with Mario Kart 8. It's my personally favorite Mario Kart since Double Dash. I love Double Dash. That's something you'll learn about me. I love Double Dash, but yeah, it was a great Mario Kart. It's definitely my second favorite, maybe even very close to my first. Love the DLC content that came out for it as well. And yeah, I think like Nintendo just really hit the nail on the head this year with a lot of great stuff. And yeah, I very proud of what that was able to, of Nintendo's sort of resurgence here, because everyone was shit talking the Wii U and how Nintendo's on a decline, and they just came out and was like, no, here's a ton of games that we really believe in and believe that we're gonna make our brand, and yeah, like they've all their first party stuff's always been incredible, and they're keeping that tradition here with Mario Kart 8. Master Chief Collection, loved it. I love the idea of having all 4 Halos not only in one package, but on one disc. All 4 Halos fit on one disc. The menu system is great. I love being able to pull up any mission without switching discs, without switching anything else, without changing anything. It's all in one playlist. I can just switch. It's a matter of like switching 1 or 2 menus, and I can get into Halo 1, 2, 3, 4. Sadly, the matchmaking wasn't right on board at first, and took a long time to get settled. But I mean, it's pretty stable now. I've been playing a lot of it, and I'm very happy with how each one looks. I love the redone Halo 2. I love Halo 4 with updated 60 frames per second. Halo 3, even though everyone says the weakest one of the 4 that are in the pack, I still think it's great. Looks amazing. Got a chance to run through all the campaign. Real nostalgic. Loved it. Warlords of Draenor and Reaper of Souls, so the expansion packs for World of Warcraft and Diablo 3, respectively. I loved both of those. I thought that Blizzard really took the idea of like, here's what our fans want, and here's what people are asking for, and we're just going to do that and take a run at that, and they were able to accomplish it. And I played the crap out of both. I thought Warlords of Draenor is the most fun I've had since Vanilla WoW, and Reaper of Souls was. I played a ton of Reaper of Souls. I played a ton of the seasons. I'm really excited for season 2 to roll in and really get a fresh start on things. And so yeah, I think both of those really gave those games a jump start that they really needed, because Diablo 3 did get a lot of flack when it came out and was starting to kind of die down, and they were fixing it over time, but I think Reaper of Souls really gave them that kickstart that they needed. And the Warlords of Draenor really brought back the old WoW feel. Yeah, I thought they did a really great job. And the last one on this list is Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I thought both of those games added in quite a bit of elements that the Pokemon series was not maybe missing, but like just sort of quality of life features. So you saw a lot of that with X and Y. So like the super training stuff for EV training and IV training, the EV trainer or the EV like EV checker guy, stuff like that, and then just the control schemes and everything. The way that X and Y worked was really great, and I think this one really sort of took that and sort of just refined it more. Like to me, it's like a more refined X and Y. Like they didn't change too much, but it's like really fine-tuned it and understood what they did wrong or what they could have fixed and kind of tuned up for on X and Y, and they did that. Like the controls just feel a lot smoother, even though they completely the same. It just feels smoother for some reason. I have no idea what they did. Also, the thing of like the end game content being very close together, so you don't have to like fly around everywhere and things like that. Uh, the Pokemon tracker or like the Pokemon radar thing that you have, forgot exactly what it's called, but like that stuff's really cool and unique, and I think that's really great for them to go ahead and put that in there. So I was really excited to play that. I don't know, maybe I'm a nerd, but those are like the honorable mentions, like the short list that I have on there. So there's what 9 games on there, 10 I guess if you count Pokemon as two games. But yeah, that's like the short list that I had that I didn't want to put in any kind of order. And there's a ton more. Like there's a ton of great games that came out. Like I didn't want to put any kind of remastered games on there. So like Tomb Raider, Sleeping Dogs, and Last of Us were very easily games that could have gone on this honorable mentions list. I just didn't want to put them on there because I played them already. Same thing goes with Grand Theft Auto 5. Like all those are great. I played them already. I don't need them. Fable Anniversary, same thing. Final Fantasy 10 remastered. I played those already. Like I beat them. I played them. I love the remastered versions. They're awesome. But I mean, they just don't belong on this kind of a list. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it right now. My first game, favorite top 10 game this year was Titanfall. Absolutely loved Titanfall. I thought they did an amazing job of capturing like what makes multiplayer fun. It's super fast paced, which is a FPS, something I've been looking for in FPS for a long time since like Unreal Tournament sort of dropped off the table, and same with Quake. Like this is the the fast paced like Twitch shooter that I've been looking for. Love the idea of like Titans, being able to put your Titan on auto attack or like auto follow and have it fight alongside you. You can fight alongside your Titan and protect it, or you can like set it as bait. You can also just drive your Titan and wreck people. And I thought like there's a lot of the way the Titans affect the battlefield. So yeah, they're important, gigantic targets, but you don't, and it gives you a lot of momentum and control in a battle or in a match. But it's not required. Like you can win a match and not have the most Titan drops, or Titan falls, I guess, in the match, which is really cool. I think like the idea of having the CPU characters run around, so you can like lower level or lower tier players can go ahead and farm out, or even like higher tier ones can quickly farm them out and get a Titan very quickly, and then go ahead and go about their business. I thought that game was balanced very correctly and very well, and I thought like all the things they added on after release as well for all the DLC, the maps and everything like that, all the new stuff was just great. I thought that game built a lot of momentum as the year went on, and a lot of people aren't talking about it now. It was a really big kind of release game because it was one of the bigger games that came out for the Xbox One really early. But I thought that yeah, they did a great job of handling that game and understanding what direction they wanted to head in. And I thought to me it was like one of the best multiplayer experiences I've had over the year. So moving on from there, my second game is going to be South Park: The Stick of Truth. And everyone says it, and it's totally true. It's the one game that I just could not stop laughing at. I had a ton of fun just kind of jumping in saying, yeah, I know what this game is, right? I know it's just going to be ridiculous. It's going to be absolutely just slapstick funny. It looks just like the show, which really helped out. And the way the characters move and the comedy of it and everything like that just fit really well. It's not an unbelievably hard RPG. Combat's really simple. It's kind of fun, though, because you get to time things. So it's like a turn-based game that there's like kind of quick time kind of events. You can block attacks and charge up attacks depending on whether you hit button presses or time things while the attacks are coming in. So it's turn-based, but there's still an element of like I need to pay attention to it, which made it really interesting, kind of fun to play. The story is great. Again, the comedy, the writing of it is just absolutely insane. But I think the thing that won me over about it was just like it knows what it is. Like it knows it's not a great game gameplay wise. It doesn't focus on it. It's all about the story, and it's the one game that I had to pause a couple of times on stream, or even like when I finished the game off stream, I had to pause a couple times and say like, "Wow, that just happened," and just sort of laugh about it. And things I want to go back and play again, and things I want to go back and see like, okay, yeah, that actually happened. This is what, wow, that's a thing. And I think that game was handled correctly, and it was a game that I've been waiting for a long time because it was delayed so much, and with all the stuff going on with THQ. But I was so happy when Ubisoft picked it up and that game finally came out, and yeah, I really really enjoyed it. So yeah, that's so my 10 and 9 are Titanfall and South Park: The Stick of Truth. Now we're gonna go into number 8. Number 8 is Bravely Default. Yes, Bravely Default. I think this game was so underrated throughout the course of this past year. I honestly, it's the kind of thing too where I understand why it's a JRPG. Everyone's played JRPGs. I just thought this one had a great story. The gameplay's amazing. It was on the 3DS, so it's very portable. It's very easy to carry around. I love the mechanics though that they really added in. The ability to just sort of, again, quality of life changes to the JRPG format. So things like you can adjust there's a slider on the options bar where it's like the monster encounter slider. So you can have a thing where it's like, okay, every time you walk, you will run into a monster encounter, and then you can turn it off to where you will never encounter a random monster attack ever again. And so it works like if you really want to grind, you turn that thing all the way up. If you want to get home or to a town, so you can just walk around, you can turn it down. And so it gives you that flexibility to decide how you want to play a JRPG, so you can kind of handle it at your own pace and sort of understand still, if you're smart, that yeah, I need to level up here, I'm not ready for this, so I need to go back and grind. Here I'm going to go grind, or yeah, I don't want to deal with random encounters, I'm already at a high enough level, let's go ahead and push on with the story. And it also lets you help control your leveling, so you don't have to always be grinding too much on accident. So the Pokemon games have sort of hit the point now where the way the EXP share works is, yeah, you level up way too quickly. Your team is way too strong for anything, and you sort of blaze through the second half of Pokemon now, just because of how leveled your guys are. And so Bravely Default kind of lets you control that to where, yeah, okay, I'm leveled now, I can kind of stop encountering monsters, and then, okay, now I'm a little weaker, so I can go back to grinding things. And it sort of kept it so the entire game could be interesting for you if that's something that you really were looking for. And again, the story was great. The job system was great. It really reminded me of Final Fantasy III. Just really, really great game. I'm really looking forward to the second one. Alright, so that's Bravely Default. We're going into number 7. Number 7 is going to be Sunset Overdrive. I think Sunset Overdrive was my favorite game to sort of watch and play. That game just looked gorgeous. I love the designs, the art style, and the way that the game functioned in terms of just the look and feel of the world they created. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's super over the top. And again, it's another game that kind of understands what it is. It understands it's ridiculous. It understands that, yeah, it doesn't completely make sense. And it just kind of rolls with it, which is great, and it allows it to sort of mess around and poke fun at itself and things like that. I think the most important thing, and sort of the thing everyone talks about, and the key thing that everyone should talk about, and the reason that it's on this list so high for me, is the way that the travel works. So you can kind of bounce off any wall or surface, you can grind and jump and do tricks and things like that. And so the act of just moving around and getting from point A to point B is extremely fun. And so I think that's sort of the... I am sorry. Hold on. Let me pause. Let me actually just close this. I have the AGDQ stream open, so it just ran an ad. But yeah, I think... what was I getting at? Oh. So yeah, it makes the traversal from point A to B just totally fun. And I think the thing that most games run into, and the most problems that they run into, is okay, really cool things are happening at point B, but I have to walk or drive a couple of minutes, or 3, 4, 5 minutes across this world to get to that point. And it's okay, it's a drag, or there's fast travel, and then you get a loading screen and stuff like that. But now with Sunset Overdrive, you're yeah, okay, this is totally fun. It's more about getting there and what are you going to do to get there, rather than actually getting there itself, which is great. And also the idea of your weapons and the things you use level up as you use them. So there's no thing of okay, yeah, I've never used this weapon before, but it's already maxed out because I put points into it. kind of a feel. So like yeah, you like it rewards your style of play. And so with that, pretty much every style of play is viable, and you can beat the game doing whatever you really kind of want to do, as long as you're doing it well or effectively, which I think is really cool and I think really unique kind of a thing for a game to have. But yeah, I would highly recommend that game. It's absolutely ridiculous. The story's not amazing. It's kind of convoluted, but just the world itself and what that world is and looks like and the way it works is great. The one thing I will say though with Sunset Overdrive is why it's not higher. It would be higher. It's just that there's a really strong learning curve, which there kind of has to be for a game that has movement as complicated and as much fun as that. It's kind of like I kind of chalk it up to like the Devil May Cry series or like the Bayonetta series, where like combat's you can do stuff that looks really cool, really quickly, like really easy. You can hit one button, like you can tap X over and over and over again, and it will just do like crazy shit. But you won't have as much fun as if you like knew what you're doing and you're stringing combos along and doing all kinds of other crazy stuff. Like the more advanced movement abilities and traversal abilities with Sunset Overdrive are extremely complex if you don't know what you're doing. And I've had times where if I put the game down for a week or maybe like a month or so, and then try to pick it back up and play it, and I've like had to go back to basics and understanding how traversal works and sort of warm myself up into it to go ahead and get back into really hardcore gameplay. Which is cool to see that, yeah, a game like this does have a learning curve and does have a skill set that you need to go ahead and develop. But I mean, it could be frustrating for people coming in on the ground floor and sort of learning things, because it just kind of just throw you in. But yeah, that's Sunset Overdrive. Next one is gonna be Destiny. I know Destiny gets a lot of shit from the community, and a lot of people don't like Destiny, and for good reason. I mean, I think that game had a lot of hype and it didn't really live up to it. Well, I mean, like, I don't think any game could really live up to the hype that Destiny had, because it's Bungie, it's like a mixture of like Borderlands and WoW and all kinds of stuff, and I don't think that was what people were really expecting. People were expecting like a second Halo. But I mean, I came into it with the expectation of like, yeah, it's gonna be a WoW, or it's gonna be like a Diablo or like a dungeon crawler where I'm gonna have to grind. Like, there's gonna be like a gear wall that I'm gonna hit, where it's like, yeah, I need certain pieces of gear that I'm just not getting. There's gonna be certain levels of frustration for farming and just not being able to earn or get the gear I need. And so yeah, I completely understand people's complaints with that if you're not used to that style of the game. And I think Destiny brought people into I think Destiny brought people that love Halo or love shooters that aren't used to that style of game, and I think that's where a lot of the flack comes from. But I know for me and like a lot of people I know and a lot of people in the community or in the Destiny community, they understand, like, yeah, this game's this game. What this game is, it's a grind game, it's a farm game. I thought the controls were super crisp, like that Bungie level of polish on their shooters. I thought that was there from the beginning. The story, everyone said, was a little weaker. If you dive into the Grim cards and you dive into sort of Destiny's lore on their website or outside sources, then yeah, the game is really deep and has a lot of lore to it. I don't think that came across in the game, which I think is a flaw. I think, like, if you're gonna have that much lore and story behind it, it can't be on Grim cards that are just on the website. But I mean, I think overall the story had some elements that were interesting if we're talking about just purely by what's in the game itself through cutscenes or whatnot. But yeah, I think they have a really special community, and I really enjoyed matchmaking with, or like the Crucible, which is like the matchmaking versus sort of deathmatch or capture the flag or capture objective kind of stuff, competitive play. And I also enjoyed the strikes and being able to grind and do things like the daily quests and things like that, which is really cool. The raids are awesome. Yeah, just a really cool game overall. I think it really opens up the shooter genre to becoming more and more like an MMO, which I think is a really cool marketplace to sort of explore. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the next one, which is going to be where is it? Dragon Age Inquisition. Yeah, Dragon Age Inquisition. You can go ahead and check my channel out. I'm playing that game right now. Not nearly done, but just getting started. But I can already tell it's already up there. Uh, the game is just absolutely gigantic. I think I'm in like the first or second area, and I'm not even. I've been playing that game for like 4 or 5 hours, and I'm not even done with that area. There's so many side quests. There's so much to do. I haven't even dove into it yet, but I've watched a ton of streams. I understand what's happening. The story is great. I mean, it's typical BioWare stuff. The game looks incredible. There's such a level of detail to it. I think it takes the elements from Dragon Age 1 and 2, the things that they did correctly, and sort of just melts them into this perfect little pot, which I love. You can play it, like an action RPG, just kind of running up, hack and slashing, and then you can play it like that strategy RPG that you could do in Dragon Age Origins, with that top-down sort of, I can move pieces where I want and sort of managing the battle from the far kind of idea, which I love. And yeah, I think I love Dragon Age. I love that world, and I think that game, even though I haven't put that much time into it, it's just really special to me. Special enough to be put ahead of all of these games that I played, even though I haven't really beaten it yet or even gotten close. The next one on the list is Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. This game, there's so much to this game that I really can't. There's a couple ways to explain the game. Think of it like Batman, like Arkham Asylum, like the Arkham games, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City. So it has that level of combat. That's what it is, pretty much. It's that one button. There's reversals. There's counters. There's combos with the one button, grabs, stuns, things like that. That level of combat with the exploration of like Dragon Age or Dragon Age Inquisition. The difference is that Dragon Age will say like, okay, the building's on fire, or like this needs to happen really, like this, we're on the verge of danger, but here are like 60 side quests you can do on your own and figure out when you want to do them. You don't have to go save the world right now. You can go ahead and do this stuff, right? And so like I feel like that's a trope and like a something that's become standard with RPGs and like action RPGs that have sort of, or just games in general, that have said like, okay, yeah, you can handle the game at your own pace. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do or whenever you want to do it. You just go, okay, you'll just you can just take it easy and do what you want. Middle-earth: Shadows of Mordor just says like, yeah, fuck you. You're gonna do what I say, like when I want to do it, or like fuck what you want to do. I'm gonna tell you what you want to do. Like the game feels like it's going to happen, whether or not you're doing anything or not. I'm trying to think like the best way to explain like why I'm saying that. Like the game takes the control in a sense. It's like, you want to play the game at your pace. Like fuck you. You're gonna play at my pace. Like you're gonna do it this way. So like the perfect example is like the Nemesis system, which everyone really talks about as like the main focus of this game because it's the most unique thing I've seen in a long time. Pretty much all there's like head orcs or like sort of chief orcs in Sauron's army that like they all have names and stuff like that. And so whenever they do anything, or like they kill you or defeat you or anything like that, they rank up. Or if you kill like there's like a hierarchy of orcs. And so like if you kill an orc that's like the second hierarchy up, then an orc from that first tier is going to move up and be promoted. And then they get bigger buffs and they get more bonuses and strengths and weaknesses and things like that. And so like say someone's immune to aerial attacks, or someone's immune to cold or fire or whatever, or someone's immune to arrows, or has a weakness to arrows, things like that. And so you have to go ahead and know these orcs and know who they are and what they do and how they function and things like that, and then take that into a fight. And so strategically figure out, okay, I'm going to take out all of his guys, and then I'll have him alone so I can go ahead and focus on doing this. Or you can go ahead and mind control the orcs, or mind control even a lieutenant orc to go ahead and give orders, or go attack another lieutenant and things like that. But the interesting thing is like, yeah, if you're on a mission and fighting one of the orcs, maybe an orc comes in for that you didn't expect, like out of nowhere, just randomly RNGesus comes in and just like brings in another orc, like head orc, and says like, yeah, you want to finish this quest? So yeah, too bad. Like this guy's gonna come in and fuck your shit up, and will just absolutely destroy you, and then he'll get promoted more and be even stronger. That happened to me with one orc in Shadows of Mordor, where that orc had beat me like 6 or 7 times, and that dude was like unstoppable. And so anytime he'd run by, I'd just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna go away and not finish this quest. I'm gonna finish this quest later on, and it made it really hard to deal with after a while. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I was it was tons of fun. I really highly recommend it. It's like totally next gen feature to sort of see, like it's a game that runs itself, and so you feel like, yeah, even if you put the controller down, like you feel like that role is still running on your console, which is really cool. So yeah, that's my number 4 game of the year. My number 3 game of the year is Super Smash Bros. Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. I've been waiting for the game for so long, so long. I even, helped with Nintendo to do all that stuff and saw it at E3, and I played this game a ton. A ton. Even before the 3DS version did come out, like I played it a lot, and super excited for it to finally come out. And I put a lot of time into it. I do that weekly segment with my friend Ian, the Weeklies for you. Yeah, we go ahead and do that. And we play Smash for maybe an hour or two, and practice some things. And so yeah, it's just always great to get another Smash game. I thought this game had so much polish on it. It looked incredible. The roster was great. There's great diversity there. And yeah, I think the features they added, the online play, I haven't barely had any problems with lag. And yeah, I think that game just overall was incredible. It runs a fine line between, melee speed and brawl speed, which of course I prefer melee, but I mean, if it did speed up brawl, and it took what brawl did poorly and sort of took those things out. So like now you can make a play in Smash 4 for Wii U. You can be aggressive. You don't have to play defensively. It does not just reward defensive play. It's of course not melee where you can do whatever the hell you want and try to figure it out. But I mean, it is better, and I think it hovers that really great middle ground. Well, it's good for casual play. It's good for competitive play. Time will tell if it goes ahead and becomes a great competitive game. But I mean, I'm really enjoying it. I had tons of fun. I think the thing that takes it to the next level too is the amiibos. I mean, you can see I have a full set of amiibos that are out. I have all the third wave pre-ordered already. I'm super into amiibos. I think the way those work are really cool. The way they learn, the way they adjust, the way they sort of take tactics and use their own tactics and things like that. I think it's really cool. I think it's super unique, and yeah, I love amiibos. I love the way they work in Smash. I hope Nintendo keeps doing stuff with amiibos. They're great. But yeah, Smash for Wii U is my second game of the year. The first one is Hearthstone. Hearthstone is absolutely the second game of the year for me. This was kind of hard for me to put on the list, but I felt like I needed to, just because I was in I think the second wave of beta invites for Hearthstone. So I've been playing it for well over a year before like the official release did come out. I played for a while, and yeah, I thought that Hearthstone took the idea of like card games and competitive sort of trading card games and really rebalanced it and really took it to its core, and what like the elements that made it fun and sort of addictive and quick and easy, and sort of just went and ran with it, which I thought was great. I'm a longtime Magic player. I've been playing Magic for years. I jump in and out now and again. But like the Ravnica set I did play. I did jump back into Magic for that because I thought those cards were really interesting, like the dual deck types and things like that. So that whole run I did go ahead and do. Like I have boxes right here full of Magic cards. I'd played Pokemon for a long time. I have a lot of friends that played Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, I played the Digimon card game. I played the I even played the Dragon Ball Z card game, which was really weird. But yeah, I just love card games. I thought that like Hearthstone took what made card games fun and sort of broke it down to its core and said like, yeah, okay, what's the core mechanics of card games that make it fun? What is not fun about card games? What can we fix to make that fun? and sort of just went with it. I love arena constructed, all that stuff is just great. The way you earn gold doesn't feel constricting, yet it's not super easy to earn gold. Like you really have to you do really have to work at it, which I think is really cool. And Blizzard, and it really does have that level of polish and that level of like Blizzard love and flair that just makes every game just over the top fun and just really really great. And yeah, I put way too much time in it to not have it on this list, and the more I thought about it, the more it kept moving up and up and up the list. So yeah, we do have 9 of the 10 games now. So we'll do a quick recap. We have Titanfall at 10. We have South Park: The Stick of Truth at 9. Bravely Default at 8. Sunset Overdrive at 7. Destiny at 6. Dragon Age Inquisition at 5. Middle-earth: Shadows of Mordor at 4. Super Smash Bros. For Wii U at 3. And Hearthstone: Heroes of Warcraft at 2. And now our number 1 game of the year is Shovel Knight. Yes, Shovel Knight. Now, this game is awesome. And again, it harkens back to all that 8-bit era, and it doesn't just harken back. It's not a parody. It's not a remake. It is its own game. It has its own personality, it has its own soul, but I think it epitomizes and sort of idealizes what made those 8-bit games great and really builds upon them and says, yeah, these are where we came from, these are where games came from, and let's get back to our roots and figure out what made them fun and what made them unique and what made them awesome at the same time. The game is difficult. It's not an easy side scroller, but I mean it's definitely fun. It lets you be cocky with it. So with the orb system to make sure like, yeah, you can hit a checkpoint or you can kill the checkpoint for more gold if you think you can do it, or for more like gems you think you can do it. Like it's just great. I beat it a couple of times now. I sped run it a couple of times. Speed ran it a couple of times. I guess sped run it or speed ran it. I have no idea. I guess speed ran it. I speed ran it a couple of times, which is really kind of fun. I've looked up a ton of people playing it and trying to speed run it, and the music is great. It looks great. It's tons of fun. It's really funny. It makes fun of itself quite a bit. It knows what it is. I think my favorite part is really early on in the game, you go to a town and the guard goes, "Hey, no weapons in the town," and then he goes, "Oh wait, that's not a weapon, it's just a shovel," and it's kind of funny to see that happen in a game. But yeah, I thought that game had a lot of personality, a lot of soul to it. I love Mega Man, I love Mario, I love all that 8-bit stuff, Metroid. So I love the upgrades that you find, all of the sort of 8-bit humor and 8-bit callbacks that are in there, and just the style of the game, the art design, the soul of that game is just great, and I really appreciated what they tried to do. But yeah, those are my my 10 games of the year. Let me know if you agree or if you have anything to add about them or want to change or want to go ahead and try to change my mind, and maybe I'll do a reflection on it and we'll go from there. But guys, these are the 10 games that really made my year great, and what are yours? And go ahead and check back with me later on to go ahead and look up the games I'm looking forward to 2015, and then I'm also going to do a video regarding my kind of life reflection for 2014. I need some time to go ahead and think that over and write some points that I want to talk about there. But other than that, please like, favorite, subscribe, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and I don't have Instagram, but go ahead and follow me on all of my social media devices and follow Call Gaming, man. We're trying to do the best we can, but yeah, go ahead and keep tracking me there. But thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.